Hi VC, it's Rob here with another video, and I thought I'd jump in on this thread that Alan, Static Traveller, started about a week ago, If I Were a God. So he settles 9 questions to answer. I'm going to have a go, some fun questions here. So the first question, I've wrote them down here. The first question is, show a record you'd improve by adding or removing a track. So I've chose Pet Sounds, and the track I'd remove is the final track on side 1, Sloop John B. I've never been a fan of it. I think it sort of disrupts the flow of the album, so that's certainly the track I'd like to remove. There's plenty of tracks that I could add to albums, but I thought I'd remove Sloop John B. That was kind of the first one that entered my head. The second question, show a record by an artist that you'd like to resurrect from the dead. So again, there's countless artists you could choose, but I've gone with Bob Marley. Died in his 40s, far too young. I'm sure if Bob Marley would have lived for another 20, 30 years, one can only imagine the great music he would have produced. So yeah, I'd love to resurrect Bob Marley from the dead. Third question is, which record would you obliterate from the face of the earth, erasing all memory of its existence? So, you know, there's quite a few albums that spring to mind, but decided to go with Graceland by Paul Simon. The older I get, sort of more I dislike Paul Simon, and this is an album that I absolutely hate. Still got it in the collection. Resurrected it from a tip box of records, and I dragged the records out, and unfortunately this album was in there. No redeeming features whatsoever. Absolutely awful. Certainly wish that it never existed. Fourth question is, show a record that displays something of the power of nature. So I've gone with this Fatboy Slim album. You see the sunshine there. This is a double album, and inside there's plenty of clouds, etc. All with the force of nature. The album halfway between the gutter and the stars, but that sunshine, very striking. The fifth question is, which 3 musicians would you Frankenstein together to produce a super musician? So I've gone for Prince, with Fela Kuti, with a little bit of help from John Lydon. So I'd love to see Prince, Fela Kuti and John Lydon. Number 6 is, show a record by a male and female artist you would save from the end of the world to entertain you in heaven forever. So I've chosen Jane Weaver, Modern Cosmology. This album's a great album. She's probably made about 10 albums. I'm sure sort of around the world she's not very well known. But in the UK, a bit of a psychedelic goddess, and pretty attractive as well. So if we're stuck in heaven, I'd love to be stuck there with Jane Weaver. Male artist, difficult, but this guy takes some beating. Curtis Mayfield. His voice is certainly one that I could certainly live with for eternity. The 7th question is, show a record that depicts one of the 7 deadly sins. So predictably I've gone for Lust, and I've gone for Lana Del Rey. Absolutely gorgeous, the red haired, absolutely beautiful there. So this album, Paradise, I am a fan of Lana Del Rey, and yeah, she's certainly one to lust over, I suppose. Question number 8 is, show a record by an artist who you would assign to hell forever for musical crimes against humanity. So this one was pretty simple. It's the Beatles. So, you know, I'm pretty sick to death of people saying that if the Beatles had never existed, popular music would never have existed. We would never have had all the great music we had in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, into the 2000s. If these four guys from Liverpool hadn't have met and formed the Beatles, all the music we're listening to today would be a lot worse off for it. And I'd absolutely love to know if that's true. Sort of 99.9% of me thinks that's absolutely rubbish. And if the Beatles had never existed, I don't think it would change popular music at all. A little bit of a supplement to this question, I'd also put in hell any channel on the VC that cannot avoid mentioning the Beatles on their videos. So I think that means that Norman Maslow is on his way to hell. And the 9th question, in your benevolence, which VC channel would you give 1 million subscribers to, so they would never have to work again and they could indulge us all with their videos for infinity? So I was going to choose Steve Carlson, but Steve Carlson, he doesn't even show any adverts on his videos now that I'm aware of. So I don't really think it's Steve's style. Someone whose style I do definitely think it is, somebody who is in the VC for the money, is Michael 45, audiophile. I'm sure Michael would absolutely love 1 million subscribers. He's on his way to 1 million, and he would not have to work and he could just produce a video every day, but he actually does that anyway, so it wouldn't really be much of a change in routine for him. But he would be even more wealthy than he is now, and I'm sure that would make Michael even more happy. So those are my answers to Alan's questions. Been a lot of fun. If you've got any comments about what I said in this video, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.